This is a short video to help you prepare for your upcoming interview. We'll be looking at common types of interviews and interview questions and how to prepare for these.
We're going to cover understanding different types of interviews, understanding how to prepare for interviews, and the different types of interview questions. It might be that you're preparing for your first interview, or it might be that you've been to quite a few. I want you to think about good and bad experiences, as there is something to be learnt from these. You could relate to similar experiences, maybe from school or college, where you have mock interviews or role plays.
Was there a question you didn't know how to answer? Was there a test you were unprepared for? It happens to everyone, but there are a few things you can do to help you prepare.
Let's think about the different types of interviews. There's phone interviews. These are commonly the first stage of an interview to find out a little bit of information about the candidate. This is your chance to demonstrate your telephony and interpersonal skills and convey your personality and interest in the role.
Video interviews might be used if there is some distance in between you and the interviewer.
Face-to-face interviews are the most common type. There will usually be some questions about you, some information about the job role, and a chance for you to ask any questions.
You may be invited to a group interview where you're assessed against other candidates. It's important you stand out without being overpowering. An assessment day might have a few stages of a role play, a task, and a face-to-face interview to assess your different abilities. Finally, there are competency interviews that focus on your examples and experience.
Research in the organisation is essential, as you'll find out what they do and why they do it. It's good practice to have a knowledge of the business, and you can use their website to help you find out more.
Your interviewer will most likely have a copy of your CV, but if you prepare this along with taking a notepad and pen, you're showing your organisational skills and it gives you something to refer to when asked about your previous experiences.
Preparing questions you would like to ask about the organisation demonstrates that you're interested. You may want to ask about development opportunities. Preparing examples of your work helps you to keep these fresh in your mind, and practicing your answers with a friend or family member helps to build confidence when answering them.
Always remember to dress appropriately for an interview, as this shows you're taking the opportunity seriously and are committed to entering the world of work. Plan your route in advance and always allow for rush hour traffic, delayed public transport, roadworks, and to find suitable parking. Preparing in advance will help you to minimise stress on the day of your interview.
It's important to always make a good first impression, so firstly, you should walk in confidently and be sure of your experience and abilities. This can be demonstrated by delivering a firm handshake.
Posture and body language can have a big impact. Consider sitting up straight and maintain natural eye contact. You should smile and show your personality and enthusiasm.
There are things you should always avoid. Being late makes a terrible first impression. Think about the things that might look unprofessional, such as chewing gum, fidgeting, and playing with your pen or hair. Always remember to employer-proof your social media, as employers will check these accounts prior to making an offer of employment.
It's important to find the right balance between being over or underconfident. For example, don't stare at your interviewer or slouch in your chair.
There are common types of interview questions you will almost always be asked. What are your strengths or weaknesses?
This can be answered by giving examples of your previous experience and qualifications. When given a weakness, choose an example which will have a minimal negative impact on the job role.
Can you tell me about yourself?
This is important because employers want to get to know your personality. So don't be afraid to mention you enjoy playing football or singing, for example.
Why are you interested in an apprenticeship?
Always show you have an understanding of the job description, so make a note of some of the key responsibilities. Show your enthusiasm into gaining a qualification as well as work experience. Focusing on competency questions, you may be asked something like, tell us about a time you had to adjust your communication approach to suit a particular audience, or tell us about a time you had to work well as part of a team.
The best way to answer these questions is to provide an honest and factual example. You may be asked further questions around that example. When answering these questions, as well as explaining what you did, we're going to look at a way you can include why you did it.
STAR stands for Situation, Task, Actions and Results. By using this method, you will give a well-rounded answer.
The situation describes the context, such as whether you were working on a project at school, college, or work.
The task explains what your responsibilities were and what steps you took. Don't be afraid to mention any challenges you faced.
The actions outline what you did to complete the task or what you did to overcome any challenges.
Finally, the results explain the outcome and highlight what you've accomplished. This is the most important part of your answer. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of how to prepare for an interview.
And don't forget you can always contact your recruitment coordinator for any further information, advice and guidance. Good luck.